Hey guys, what's up? It's me, J Daddy, here with another video. Right, and today we'll be going over something that I've been weirdly getting into in DS, right? Surprisingly. And it's pretty much what most of the community is doing right now, and that is, if you can't guess by where I'm at right now, I am in trading. Right? So, today I'm gonna show you how to trade, right? And I will be providing a trading list based on what I have seen from the Unhatched Games chat, right? Based on what people have told me things are worth, and I'll just show you guys. Alright guys, and here's the trading list so far, right? This is made by me. I have a link to it, right? I also put it in the Discord, and I'll link it down in the description. Right? This is based off of what I think are the prices, right? This is what the information I've collected from Unhatched Games trading, right? And you know, these prices, right? The way this works, the way I'm making it work is I'm trying to figure out what most people are saying the price is, right? And then based on demand, I will add different symbols, right? So right, Glass of Anicus being worth Phoenix, right? When it's in the brackets like this, that means it's worth Phoenix, but like you're unlikely to get it, right? This minus right here, that means that Totem Terror has bad demand, right? If you have Totem Terror, it's not going to be very easy to trade it off, right? I put 2 negatives and GFR because it is worth Totem, but even though Totem has negative demand, you're very, very unlikely to get it, right? And then looking at other stuff, right, like Headless, right? Headless is worth G-Torvo plus Movie Spino or Swan, right? But I have a plus next to it because that means it's in high demand, right? So we have Headless here, right? It's either worth G-Torvo or it's worth Movie Spino plus Swan, meaning I could maybe get a G-Torvo for it, but it's also worth Movie Spino plus Swan, right? And the plus sign on this means that I can trade it for G-Torvo very easily, right? Since it has that plus, that means I could probably easily, I could take a Headless, straight up go to G-Torvo. That easy, right? It has good demand, right? People are willing to trade for it, right? And if you're looking through all these and, you know, I don't have those little values like the 0.7, 0.5, stuff like that, it's because I took things that are, you know, as like an actual thing that you can read. Like, let's say you want a G-Torvo, right? G-Torvo is worth 2 Movie Spinos. Well, how do we get 2 Movie Spinos? Let's look. How much is Movie Spino worth? Movie Spino is worth 2 Swans, okay? What is 2 Swans worth, right? 2 Swans, right? Swan is worth 2 Terrabonies or 1 to 2 Mammoths, right? And Mammoth, it's still work in progress, right? Mammoth is probably like 2 buyables, or like 3 to 4. You could probably trade it for like a plush. You know, maybe trade a Kaiju Titan. You know, you could probably get that for Mammoth, right? So what that means, if we're trying to go from G to G-Torvo, right? From the bottom, right? Let's say we have a Kaiju Titan. We trade that Kaiju Titan for Mammoth, right? We trade Mammoth up for Swan, right? And then we try to trade again to get a second Swan. Once we have 2 Swans, that means we can move up to Movie Spino, right? Once we get Movie Spino, we need to get another 2 Swans to get a second Movie Spino. What we can do is take those 2 Movie Spinos and then trade up to a G-Torvo, right? So this list works in a way where it tells you where you can go, like the intervals you need to do in order to get something you want. Like, let's say you want to go from a G-Torvo. You want to go G-Torvo, and you want a Megavore, right? Because that's a fair idea. I'm sure people want that, right? So let's go from G-Torvo, right? So with G-Torvo, if we add a G-Torvo plus a Movie Spino, right, which is down here, so we'd have to get 2 Swans. In order to get 2 Swans, we would want a Mammoth, and we use Kaiju Titan to trade for Mammoth, and we would trade to get 2 Swans, right, and then we'd trade 2 Swans to get 2 Movie Spinos, right? We would trade we would get 2 movie spinos, and then we'd get another G-Torbo, right? Or we just stick to the movie spino, keep that movie spino, and we trade to Solar Bringer. Right, and then we repeat that process, trying to get a Plushapado, a Cyber, right, or even a Krampus if we're lucky, right? And we would go from Krampus, that sadly has bad demand, so it's not a great idea to try for Krampus, right? So I would probably try for Plushapado, and you can even open, plush eggs to get Plushapado, and then you instantly have 2 solars worth of something. We would try and trade up to either Glass Megavore, which is worth WWC, is White Walker Carcharodontosaurus, right? We tried to trade up for White Walker, right? And we tried to go from White Walker, Peak Spino, right? Because that's the next thing we want. We don't want to get Peak Spino. That's the next highest thing we can go for, because this is worth White Walker, and this is less than Peak. You could trade for a Glass Albino, but you're unlikely to get stuff for it, right? So then we trade up for Peak Spino, right? We need another Solar, or White Walker, or we could get 5 Solars, right? Right? And you just repeat the process to get that Solar, right? Get up to G-Torbo movies, right? Get another G-Torbo, get another movie Spino Solar, and then you go to, take the White Walker plus the Solar, get a Peak Spino, right? And then we want to go from Peak Spino to something like Totem or Lumi or Pitch Lumi, right? Because those are neutral at the moment, right? They're not in super high demand, but they're not super low, right? So we trade those up, or we could just stick Peak and try to get more Peak Spinos, right? So we could get Phoenixes, because right now it says Megavore is worth either Gab and White Walker or 2 Phoenixes and a Solar. So let's say we want to go for Phoenix, right? So we want 3 Peaks, right? If we get a Lumi, let's say you trade for a Lumi, right? You get a Lumi, then all you need is just another, right? A second Peak, because Totem is worth 2 Peaks, right? And we need 3 Peaks, right? So 2 Peaks plus another Peak is 3, right? Obviously. And then from there, all you need is Solar Bringer. You can either get one, right, buying it, or you can trade up to it, right? And that's pretty much just how this trading list works. And again, it's work in progress, right? It's shared, so anyone who joins it can edit. They don't have editing powers, but they have the power to make suggestions, right? You can suggest what you want in the list. All right, and then the last thing is in DS Trading, right? You can go here and put up your offers, and they'll tell you. Or alternatively, what you can do, let's say you want to know what Peak Spino is worth, right? There's a little tab right here that says search. You click this and say, you would say, what is Peak? Because people call it Peak. They just call it Peak. You don't have to say Peak Spino. You can type Peak Spino, but you don't have to. What is Peak worth? And then you press enter, and it will search for anyone who asks that question. And people have already answered this question multiple times, if you can see. Like, there's 82 of these, right? But you want to go something more recent. So make sure you're not going like, let's say if we go all the way to 82, right? This is 2017, right? What is Peak worth? If I go to 2017, this is 27, right? A Peak is worth nothing, right? But if I go to the present, right, where this person asked, let's go with just one, because if they ask multiple times, then people don't answer it. What is Peak worth, right? They don't answer it, right? So we go to the next time, right? We read it. What Peak worth, right? And you just keep on searching until someone tells you what Peak Spino is worth, right? What is Peak worth? Nothing. Right, what is Peak worth? Right, nothing there. 5 to 6 solars. There you go, 5 to 6 solars, right? And there are different prices everywhere, right? It's not exact, but I just took a gist of like all the stuff. And here's me asking what Peak is worth, because this is when I was collecting information, right? I asked, this guy, right? I've talked to multiple people, right? And they'd say, different answers. right? What is peak and mega worth? So what is peak worth, right? Everyone constantly is like bickering about what things are worth. But if you just search through here, you can find your answer, right, of whatever you want, right? And you can change it out. You can change it to mega. You can go, what is mega worth? If you want to know what megavore is worth, right? You scroll. What's classic mega worth? What is C mega? Everyone's asking what C mega is worth, right? And you can just put it, and you that way you don't have to search just for certain things. But if you want to know what kaiju's are worth, you say what is K worth, right? K is what they're going to be calling K Soro, K Titan, K Quetz, K Spino, K Titan, K Titan, K Titan, K Titan, K Quetz, right? They'll ask that, or alternatively, you can ask chat what is peak worth. White Walker, solar, right? So they say it's worth White Walker and solar, right? And if we look on my list, White Walker and solar, right? So it's usually the general gist of what people say in the chat, right? So this is what people will be going by, right? And of course, you can get it if you really try hard enough. You could get it for a White Walker plus a G Torvo, or stuff like that. This is just for like a basis of how much stuff is usually worth, right? So if you don't, if you don't know what stuff is worth, you can either look at the trading list that I've made, right? That's still work in progress. So I have most of the important stuff, but I don't have everything, right? And people, can suggest stuff, and I will look over it, and I will talk to, people in unhatched games and ask them about certain prices, right? But this is just something you can look over, and this is as accurate. This is supposed to be completely accurate, right? This isn't going to help me in trading at all, right? Just because I make a list doesn't mean people are going to follow it, right? So this is purely like so that people know what they're trying to trade for, right? And that way, because sometimes, you might be playing when no one else is playing, right? And no one's answering your question in unhatched games. You can refer to this. You can search it up in unhatched games, right? You can even ask in the comments, and if I'm not busy, I'll respond to it, right? Or you can, ping me in the Discord, or any way figure out trading, right? All right. And since I'm in trading, I guess I can look over some stuff and show you like visually, right? They have a mammoth, right? Let's say I want mammoth, right? Say click on mammoth, right? It'll go down here and requesting, right? Row 2. And I'll click on my own inventory, right? And I'll say, well, right, mammoth is equal to swan, or 1 to 2. So I might make him add something. Say Terra Bunny, Aloe, right? That way, I can trade Mammoth and Terra Bunny Aloe, because I know it's worth 2 Terra Bunny Aloes, but Mammoth, it's worth 1 to 2. So I could get 2, right? Or I could get this, right? Depending on the value, right? And if I send my Swan for it, right, that's worth, that would be relatively worth it, right, to do it. Right. But I don't need those because I already have those. But anyways, guys, that's DS trading, right? Let me know if there's any questions you have, right? And feel free to join my server for trading. Feel free to join Unhatched Games server, right? And the trading list is going to be edited on somewhat of a regular basis for the time being, right? And it's going to be, moderated by me. I will choose what is edited and what's not edited at the moment, right? But anyways, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.